Sonic X Shadow Generations has had a lot of footage released over the past couple days. Some of that footage comes from Sega themselves, and some comes from fans playing the game at Summer Game Fest. Now, a lot of people have just talked about how they liked it, or they disliked it, or thought it was alright, but today, I want to make one particular comparison, and that is that this game has a lot of similar level design virtues to Sonic Dream Team, funnily enough, which is a game that I quite like, so I mean that in the best way possible. So, let's get on into it. When it comes to Dream Team's level design, there are two types of areas: linear and open. Linear areas in a level are pretty obviously linear. It's usually just a few paths that take you to the same place, and that's about it. It's a little bit more traditional boost formula in the scheme of things. And then you have open areas. These are usually cube-like areas with lots of paths where you have to get from one side of the room to the other in the quickest way possible. Sometimes ways that are completely unintended, which is fun as crap, let me be so honest. And in each full Dream Team level, these two design philosophies are interwoven into one really cool formula, which I really like. And you can see a lot of this design philosophy in the Shadow levels. So starting things off, we can see at the beginning of this level, there is an alternate path that you can take on this top rail. So literally, right away, we get something that Dream Team does a lot, which is rail jumping. That's something that this game does a lot, so there you go, that's already one connection. Moving past that beginning section, we keep going, and we got some multiple paths and whatnot, and then we get to this area, which, while yes, isn't necessarily like some crazy thing, but it has wall running. I assume that's probably just a one-level gimmick for the arc, but hey, still, Dream Team did a lot of wall running, so still pretty sick to see it here. We keep going here, and then there's this tube section where you can go through it, which is the slow way, or you can go on top of it, and we see this floating rail up here with some rings, which looks just like Dream Team once again. And as we keep going, I love seeing the usage of chaos control. It is really, really nice. The platforming possibilities of chaos control and being able to stop time are pretty much endless. Tons of platformers have done this type of thing before, but it's like Sonic already has a character that can slow time down like that. Like Chaos Control, that's literally what it does. So seeing that used here is so sick, man. And really that's about it for like the linear sections. You keep going. Normal boost stuff. We get to see some great usage of Chaos Control, like I said, which is super sick. And, well, that's where we get to the open side of things, and I hope that we get to see this a little bit more than we do in this stage. And what sucks is that this part of the level was cut out in the official footage, but we get to see by people recording the game that there's this whole pretty big open area where you have to get to the other side of the room, and this is the type of stuff I want more of. Something I loved in Dream Team was these bigger room areas that have tons of rails and paths and platforms, and you just gotta get to the other side of that room, but there's like 50 different ways to do that, and it's pretty fun. And like I mentioned earlier, you can actually take advantage of some of that stuff and pull off some weird unintended tricks. This skip that you can pull off as a flight character in Dream Factory Act 2 is just a perfect example of how this stuff can be so fun. And also can promote a little bit of exploration. Maybe there's a little goodie to find. And I just think that's pretty sick. But right after all of that, we're thrown into this literally, bro, it's so cool, this Doom's Eye chase. Like, oh my goodness. The fact that they made a section in one level where it seamlessly transitions from a space level to a warped Doctor Strange looking city level, all seamlessly with no loading screens, is kind of insane. Now, of course, the camera is locked in, so it's not like, whoa, that is the most technically impressive thing of all time. I'm not gonna get ahead of myself. This is no Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. But it's still really cool that we have a Sonic game that is just showing off its graphical capability. We just have never had that, I'm gonna be honest, like ever. Even in some of the best looking Sonic games, it ended up affecting the game negatively because the game started running worse or had bad load times, all of the above. So this game looks amazing, and I'm glad that they're really showing that off here. I mean, even heck with Shadow, they get real up in his face, so you can really see the detail on the model. Now, before I end off this video, I do have a couple gameplay things that I just want to talk about, and the first of which is that Chaos Snap can literally warp you through lasers, bro. I was like, jaw on the floor when I saw this. That's so sick. We even get to see a path immediately taking advantage of that fact, which is super awesome. And I hope that as a mechanic actually gets to, flourish and get some cool usage, because it's quite promising to see that the first act of this game is already taking great advantage of it. That's already an amazing thing. You can also homing attack rails like Dream Team, That's pretty sick. I don't believe that you can homing attack the rail midway through like you could on Dream Team, which is something I wish was there, because there were so many cool skips where you could just barely homing attack a rail. It was one of my favorite things in that game. So it's a shame to not see it here, but that's still cool either way, even if you can't do it midway through. So yeah, that really about wraps it up for this video. I felt like this game had so many level design ideas that just felt really inspired from Dream Team, which is absolutely great because I think Dream Team has some amazing level design. And although yes, there are Sonic games with better level design, I'm sure they had to dumb this down because, yes, it is a mobile game, so it couldn't be super duper engaging and challenging, but if the Dream Team philosophy is carried to its biggest extreme in this game, we will have some of the best Sonic level design. I'm not even going to hold you. And I believe that this game is showing great promise of achieving that, so I look so forward to it. So yeah, I hope all of you have a great day. God bless.